Hello everyone, and welcome. Starting my day off with a smile. I posted a video a couple of weeks ago feeding my Twig stove addiction, and I showed the new Twig stove that I bought. And I was thinking about it, and I've never actually done a video where I go through all of my stoves. So here we go. Let's start with this little guy. This is a tiny flat pack stove from Lixada. And it's one of those, you gotta just slide everything together. Then you put the bottom plate in. And now comes the tricky part. Now this is a tiny little stove, and as you saw, it packs down to next to nothing. In most of my stoves, I have some type of ferro rod, especially for this one, because this one is so small, I just leave it right in the bottom of my canoe barrel. That way, if we're ever out on the water, something happens, we flip the canoe, big storm kicks up and we're stuck. Yeah, this one is a little fiddly. You have to be very careful with this one, because everything just slides together. If you hold it the wrong way, it'll open up. Once it's together and there's wood in it and it's got a little bit of weight in it, it's fine. Okay. And then once you rest it on the ground, on a flat surface, stock it with wood, you're good to go. Twigs, branches, leaves, pine cones, whatever you happen to find, throw it in there. It's great for boiling a quick cup of water or making a coffee or something like that. I wouldn't cook anything major on it. But in the canoe barrel, like I said, you flip the canoe, you're wet, you're cold. At least I've got a little stove, I can boil some water and cook a packaged meal if I need to, because I usually keep a couple of those in the canoe barrel as well. Usually if I'm in the canoe, I've got the barrel, there's a couple of the pre-packaged dehydrated meals in there, or a package of sidekicks or something that I can just add water to and I've got a meal. So it's very handy for that. And that one stays in the canoe barrel. I also have another Lixada stove. This one you've seen a few times. this one together. Slide in the pin. This one has this plate where I could stick in the top and use my alcohol burner if I wanted to. And again, I stuck a small ferro rod in there. This one is a lot more stable. It's a lot bigger. And it has these pot supports. So that now I can hold, doesn't matter what size of pot, even a small cup, it'll hold on there. And this one lives in my backpack. In the back pouch of my backpack, that's where this one stays. Anytime I'm out anywhere, if I've got my backpack, I've got a stove. So that if I'm in an area that's a little questionable, I don't want to make a fire, I can always at least clear a small area and use that. Or get lucky enough and find a big enough rock, I can set it on the rock. I've got a way of boiling water and cooking food, and this works very well again with twigs, sticks, whatever I happen to find on the ground. Branches, lower branches that I can break off of trees. Works very well. But this stove here, there are so many different styles of this stove. And the little one that they're flat pack and you just slide them together. I don't need 15 different types of the same stove with a different look. I have these two. I'm happy with these two. Now, this one you've seen recently. This is the new one. Seems to be going together just a little bit better now that I've used it a few times and I'm getting a bit of practice using it. So that's number 3, that's another stove, and this one works again very well with sticks, twigs, branches, whatever I happen to find. The packaging says that if I close this door like so, I can use it for charcoal. I personally would not, because I don't trust this door. It doesn't hold very well. Leaving the door open, using it with sticks and twigs, fine. Anything else? No thank you. I'd rather not risk it. This is another one. seen me use this one, I believe in this spring. But it's all one piece. The grate falls into the bottom. Slide your ash pan in. From here, it's got a nice little grill that sits on top. Door opens. Works very well with sticks, twigs, branches, whatever I happen to find. But I've also tried this one because the door comes up and locks. If you can twist it right. Yeah, now it locks. I can actually fill this with charcoal and light it up, and it works very well. Now let's set this one aside and this one aside so that we can make some room. Just trying to keep some of the soot off my hands. Now the next three are all pretty similar. Again with a small ferro rod and striker. This. Here's your fire bowl. Stick it in there. And this one is a gasifier. There's a ring all around here that lets air come in from these bottom holes, and it comes up between the walls here. And when you've got a fire going in here, it gets superheated, and when the hot air comes out of here, it's like a secondary burn. It's got these fold-out pot supports. It sits on top. And what I like about this one is once your pot is on, you still have a hole there that you can put more fuel in if you need to. Sticks, twigs, what have you. This also works very well with charcoal, and it will work with wood pellets. It works well with wood pellets to get you a nice heat. And this one is the Mastiff Gears. I like using this one once in a while. It is fun to use. This one, this is the MSR Alpine 1.1 liter, I believe, cook pot. And the only reason the cook pot is out here is because the Ohuhu stove fits perfectly in there. I can put the Mastiff Gears one in there, but it's a much tighter fit. I have to squeeze it in. but the Ohuhu fits beautifully. So let's get this pot out of the way. Again, simple, easy setup. Here's our base. Here's our fire bowl. Here's our main ring with the air gap all around the wall. Slide that in place, set it on top. These supports, I can fold them in for a small pot, fold them out for a larger pot, and it also comes with a small grill so that I can grill something small on there. Works very well with charcoal, works very well with the wood pellets. Sticks and twigs, it works. But once your fire is going and you have a pot on top, you have to remove the pot, put more wood, put the pot back on. Remove the pot, put more wood, put the pot back on. It's a bit of a pain. But if you're only boiling water to make a coffee or something, fill it with twigs. It should give you enough heat just to boil that water. If you're doing a prolonged cook, you'll have to add something at some point. Whereas with the wood pellets, I believe it burns long enough that I can actually do a half decent cook with it. I believe I've done it with, I've got a small 6-inch cast iron pan. And I believe with one load of pellets, I boiled enough water right off the start, light it, put the water on right away. I boiled enough water for my coffee, and then I threw the pan on and warmed it up, and I made some sausages and some eggs. And I think I made a piece of toast. All in one filling with the wood pellets. Works very well. I do enjoy the stove. I just don't like the fact that I can't feed the fire once it's going. Now, this is one I bought to try. Got a decent sized pot. It's got a small little frying pan that you can also use as a lid. Another one of those tiny ferro rods. They look gimmicky, but they work not too bad. But this setup came with its own stove. So this is your bottom. This is your fire bowl. And as you can see, the holes are way too big. You cannot use the wood pellets in here, but sticks and twigs work fine. And you've got a nice big opening to be able to load more wood if you need it. And it comes with these pot supports. So again, I can put any size pot or cup on here. But this one, look at the height of it. And now if I put the pot that it comes with on top and use the pan as a lid, that's why I call this one the Leaning Tower of Cookware. I've used it a few times But boy, you gotta make sure that base is on something straight. Because if it's got a bit of a lean to it, that water gets boiling and that stove gets a rockin'. You need to be careful with this one. And that is pretty much all of my smaller stoves. Now let me get these out of the way, and I've got a couple more I want to show you. So all of those little stoves, very fun to use. I like taking them out now and again and cooking something on them, even if it's just having a coffee. Now this one, I can't read the name on the patch anymore, and I don't remember what the brand is, but I've used this one a few times. The UCO flat pack. You flip the legs up, cross them, and it opens up. Now, this one works fantastic with charcoal. Grill sits on top, but that grill is a little bit finicky because the see, the sides always want to cave in like that. You can use it with wood, load it up. They say load it up, light it, put the grill on. The grill is hard to put on once the wood is in there because, like I said, the ends want to cave in a little bit. You don't want to be playing over a fire and trying to fiddle and get things over. Easier to put the grill on first and load it up. Now this one is advertised as a fire pit as well. So they say you can take this off and have a fire in it. I have done it. But it's a little risky because it's not going to fold up on you. But these ends do come in, and I never trust it. When the ends come in like that, I'm always worried that it will fold in. There's no way it can, especially with weight in there. But I don't do it very often, and if I do it, I make sure I'm in a place where if it does fall over, it doesn't matter. I do it on a, on a gravel pit, I'm on a big rock, I'm on something that is not going to just catch fire. But it works very well. I've actually I've added to this one inside the pouch. I've gone to Dollarama and I've bought some cheap skewers that I keep in here, because sometimes I will load up these skewers, fill this up with charcoal, and cook my food on there, and it works very well. I enjoy this one. Actually, I should start using it a little more. It's a fun one to use. Oh, they also give you, let me get this back on. Give you this tiny little handle with the idea that you can pick up the grill. The problem with that is when you go to put it back on, you still have to have a gloved hand or something so that you can push that over. You would think that they would have put a small clasp or something so that when you open it up, you can hook something or slide something so that it doesn't fall back in. Something that would hold it in place. But that's the UCO flat pack. Works well. I've used it on a couple of trips. Now this last one, I'm not taking credit for this last one because this last one is not mine. This last one I want to show you is very interesting, but it's one that Anne had when we first got together. She brought this along and showed it to me, and we've used it on a few camping trips, but not very often. But this one is not a Twig stove. I just want to show it because it's interesting. It's a toolbox. But when you open it up, there's a small spatula in there and a small knife that's been in there for a while and needs some cleaning and sharpening. But when you take that out, it's a charcoal grill. This grill is going to need some cleaning. Those are just fire starters. But it's got this nice tray. You load it up with charcoal, set it in there, light it up, put your grill on top. Perfect for making just a couple of burgers, a few steaks, whatever you want to make. It's very, very interesting. We've used it once or twice, and I really did like it. It's big and it's bulky for the camping that we do, so that's why it doesn't get a whole lot of use. But it is interesting to bring if you're car camping. Because it is a regular toolbox, it's pretty heavy. Oh yeah. Oh. I guess I should put these fire starters back in there. But that's the lineup of stoves so far. I keep looking around and checking online and looking at different things. And when I find one that I don't have, that's in a style that I don't have, I usually try and pick it up. I don't have a ton of storage space, so I don't want 15 of every kind of stove. They are very nice to have. They are fun to play with. Take them out, put a little fire in it, cook something. I'll admit, I prefer to cook over a campfire because I'm going to have a campfire anyway. But sometimes it's fun to just go out, especially on a day trip. Go out, drink some coffees or some tea, whatever, chaga. pop out one of these stoves, warm up a quick meal, have a quick cup of something to drink, and then pack up and head for home. So this is the lineup of all my stoves, plus Anne's little charcoal toolbox barbecue. I love that thing. That's awesome. We don't use it enough because it's heavy, but I do love that thing. But that's going to be it for this video. I want to thank you all for coming along. Always a pleasure having you with us. And if you like what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, you may as well hit the notification bell. When you do, there'll be a drop-down menu. In that menu, select all. That should let you know whenever we put out a new video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.